Coming into this season, Yal Valverde had taken to the series starting grid 16 times, in which the Sintra sensation had been less than sensational, posting only one podium and an average finish of 14th. But in the season 16, the Portuguese driver has started to live up to his nickname by winning the opening round last time out at Mid-Ohio. Pre-race favorite David Third Degree Burns suffered mid-race misfortune, and defending champion Alex Johnson could not make the event. But the Swede with speed is here today, along with Third Degree and the rest of the usual players, hoping to stop the Sintra sensation from making back-to-back victory lane visits. Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League from Autodromo Nazionale in Monza, it's round 2 of the Formula Neagle Season 16 Championship, and all the simulated Dallara Formula 3 action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Buongiorno and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. Soup and sandwiches. Yours truly, Bill Soups On, joined by Samuel Ryman to bring you our Words Eye view. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beer. Okay, last round at Mid-Ohio, the new iRacing content, the Dallara Formula 3, took the stage for the first time, and the reviews were very positive. Today, the ABL brings its new toy to Monza. Sam, tell us a little bit about today's venue.
Well, today's track definitely one of the more famous racetracks in the world, a historic Grand Prix venue. Of course, the speeds became a concern back in the 1960s, 1970s, so they've thrown in a couple of chicanes since, but still makes for plenty of exciting wheel-to-wheel racing into these heavy braking zones around here, and also great slipstream battles down the long straights. 11 turns, only about 3 miles around, so kind of your typical length for a Grand Prix course. However, they cover it very quickly. This is normally the highest average speed race that the speed races that you'll see series cover when they come here. They're typically, these races are over in a hurry, and also a tight pit window today because of those high speeds. It burns a lot of fuel. Let's give you an idea of what one lap around here is like with our GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Johan Vandenbeld in the GSRC Formula 3, so let's do a lap around Monza. Down the front stretch towards the Rettifilio chicane, this is going to be a very common place for overtakes. It's not just the draft that will bring battles about, but the heavy braking presents a challenge as to who dares wait until latest. Be careful not to cut too far in on the first apex, or else you could get a slowdown penalty. From out of there, drivers will have to bleed onto the power and avoid wheel spin to keep from being vulnerable. Because as you pick up speed around the Curva Grande, you're in the same situation all over again. The slipstream will give someone the chance to attack. Hold the car off to the right and be ready for Della Rogia. Much like the first chicane, you can't get too greedy at the first apex, and then the tall sausage curb at the second one holds plenty of danger if you hit it too hard. Now you come up to the first Lesmo, which carries a fair bit of banking. The exit allows you to swing all the way out onto the AstroTurf, so try your best to use it to help keep up your momentum. Then, before you know it, you've hit the second Lesmo, where you've got to be brave and climb up on that inside curb. Once again, drivers who carry speed off the corner will find much better lap times. And while this long run down to Ascari will see battles brew up and erupt, this final chicane is much quicker than the previous two. And the black and yellow curbs will play havoc with the car, easily damaging it if you clatter over them. That dumps you onto the stretch towards the Parabolica. This might seem like an ideal place to pass, but my advice would be to wait for a better opportunity on the front stretch. It's always easier to pass on a straight than to try to go wheel to wheel around a swift corner. By now we're on the pit straight once again, so let the car drift across to the left, and hopefully you've now finished a lap around Monza.
It is fast, and that video made it feel fast. Joe Peak talking and taking us around another racetrack. This time it's Monza. All right, let's go ahead and look at the point standings now. With only one race under our belt, these standings pretty much reflect the results of the first event. Now, conspicuous by his absence is defending champion Alex Johnson. Unfortunately, he could not make the season opener, but he is here today. A shock to many fans was Michael Hofladezen there in second place as the AM Racing driver's very first podium. And Sam will talk more about Hofladezen in a minute. As the open wheels cars get faster, so does Mr. Excitement Liam Quinn as he sits in third. And last season's runner-up Dennis Garrisons rounds out the overlay, but it's all behind last rate's winner, the Sintra sensation Yal Valverde, racing out of Portugal for Team Talent. All right, let's go ahead and look at those F2 driver standings right now. I think I'll talk about these. Let's go ahead with Michael Hofladezen. F2, if you qualify for that, it's all about iRating, and believe it or not, I think the cutoff mark is 2,300, and Hofladezen comes in at 2,288, just under what he needs to. So that's why he sits at the top of those F2 standings. You know, let's talk a little bit more about Michael. He's had 45 career starts. He has no podiums, 8 top 5s, 22 top 10s, and a 15th place average. So while he's been fast, it's been feast or famine for him. How about Ludwig Sauer, 27 career starts, 7th at Mid-Ohio, was second best career finish for him. And then we get to those next guys, Christian Goulet, Paulo Prado, and Patrick O'Leary. They came home 11th, 12th, and 13th respectively. Career best for all of them. Let's go to the team standings. And when we look at the team standings, the scoring system that only pays down to 15th, that kind of diminishes the role of the F2 second-tier driver and increases the dominance of the teams that have 2 top-tier talent drivers. And let's talk about Team Talent, as they were the only team to have both drivers score in the points, a first for Yal Valverde and a fourth for Liam Quinn. That's why they are crushing it, 25 points up on AM Racing. Now, Hofladezen did great, came home in second, but unfortunately, despite his best efforts, the Strudelmeister finished outside the points. So again, that hurt AM Racing. The rest of those guys are all solo efforts as well. As you look farther down in third, David Burns, the only scoring driver there, and then Virtual Motorsports, Dennis Garrison gets that one, and Neil Bamber scores for No Particular Racing Team. 2 Stupid Dogs, Virtual Motorsports, and No Particular Racing rounding out the overlay. All right, I've done my job. We're always picking up new viewers here, so let's go ahead and talk about the event details. Sam, what's coming on here for round 2?
Well, it's the second round of a very short season build, just 7 races in length, so no reason to have any drop weeks. Every result counts, and if you do have a bad result, that is actually going to make it a lot tougher for you in Championship. A 60-minute race today. We mentioned the races at Monza normally go by in a hurry when they're based on laps, because you're covering a lot of miles and not a lot of time. However, this is going to be a normal length race. That does mean we'll have couple more laps than normal, and that means we're going to have very narrow pit windows. Let's go down to the setups row here. The setups row, where it says we have open setups with a reduced fuel capacity, and because of the 1 hour length of this race and the low miles per gallon that these cars will be getting today, we expect these pit windows to be very tight. So those 2 stops will be occurring right around the 20-minute mark and right around the 40-minute mark. There might be something to be said for drivers who are good at saving fuel in the draft around here. And let's be honest, at Monza, it's quite easy to pick up a draft around here. 24 is the incident cap. You don't want to pick up incidents by running off the track or getting involved in crashes. These open wheel cars aren't any fast repairs, so crashes, if you're in one, you're done. It's running off and taking advantage of runoff areas that could be a concern. Some drivers may end up hitting that incident cap if they're not too careful.
And let's go ahead and talk weather here before we get to the qualifying results. It is a beautiful day as far as romance goes in Italy. Grab yourself a picnic blanket, a basket, a bottle of wine, some cheese, maybe some French bread. Find a virtual female and go ahead, set yourself up right there near the Variante della Roggia and watch the race. Sam, how about for when it comes to racing, how's it look?
Yeah, I mean, like you see, we see the weather at the top of the screen there. It's moderate air temperature and track temperature, nothing too high, nothing too cold. Even the winds aren't too strong. In fact, it's been pretty constant at 5 miles an hour. I don't know if the league has actually set it up that way. So the drivers aren't going to have to worry too much about the weather. They more just need to worry about the track, the car, their competitors. pretty much everything that makes this race except for the sky, although remember iRacing does have dynamic weather now, so there could always be some clouds that get in the way and affect this racetrack at different portions of the circuit.
Clouds are very sparse today. It's a beautiful blue sky, just a few little white puffy clouds floating by. I'm telling you, it is romantic out there. All right, let's get through that. Let's get down to the technical business here. Let's see what's going on in qualifying. No surprise to see the defending champion, the Swede with speed, Alex Jansson, sitting at the top of the chart, putting in a 142.8. Looking at David Third Degree Burns, he was the pole sitter last time out at Mid-Ohio. He's second on the charts right now. Look over his left front wheel.
Yeah, I was wondering if we'd see a bit more gamesmanship going on in this qualifying session. Drivers maybe pairing up with each other, trying to use the draft to benefit, because this is a very tricky qualifying session for these drivers. It's only 10 minutes long, and because these cars are underpowered, it takes, not too much under 2 minutes to do a lap around here. So by the time you do an outlap anyway, you're only left with 8 minutes left in the qualifying session. That only gives you enough time for about 4 or 5 flying laps. And you've got to worry about traffic around here, of which there's a lot of it. This is a big field, about 40 cars. So this is a bit of a crapshoot, and we are probably going to end up with a bit of a mixed up grid because of it.
At the opening round winner and your points leader right now, Yalbel Verde, racing out of Portugal. Interesting dynamic to the rules here for qualifying. They made a point to make this open qualifying so that the draft plays an effect. They actually are encouraging drivers to team up with your teammate and see if you can get yourself a good one.
Yeah, we do see some drivers running quite close to each other, but of course, the problem with running in a draft of another car is, especially in these open wheel or aerodynamic machines, is the aero weight. Yeah, sure, you'll benefit going down the straight, but having the car in front of you could hurt you in the turns. How much does that affect these Formula 3 cars? It's kind of hard to say. We don't really know because it's a relatively new car to iRacing. So some people might be finding out the answer to that question for the first time right now.
And Valverde looking ahead of the car in front of him. I'd like to take a second to talk about Johan Vandenbelt as he works his way through Della Roggia right now, heading towards the Lesmos. Really quick last time out. Had a horrible race, though. Started off early when he jumped the start, and then it went all downhill from there. He's currently sitting third. Let's go ahead and stay with him. He worked out. This is a great passing zone coming up. This is the Variante Ascari. This is a left-right left chicane, kind of a double chicane. You can see guys make a pass here. Let's see how Johan handles this. He's going to get in there. See if he takes it over the curbs or keeps it right on the tarmac. Nicely done so far. Left, right, and then one more left, and he's on his way to Parabolica.
Yeah, ran off exiting Lesmo too, so if it was a race, that would have picked up one of those 24 incident points that you don't want to get. It wouldn't surprise me if he's actually a little off a pace right now, just making sure he cleans his tires and gets set for another time lap attempt this time by. I think he'll have enough time on the clock to try and get 2 more laps in.
Valverde has jumped to the top of the charts ahead of the Swede with speed, Alex Jansson. Look at Jansson right now, the defending champion. He was incredibly dominant last season. Season 15 was all about this driver. He was untouchable. And he goes through the Ascari right now. Let's go ahead and stay on him because it won't be long until he gets to the start-finish line. He puts in the time. He just has Parabolica to go through. A corner that I still am trying to figure out the appropriate racing line through. We think this is not a hot lap for him. We think he's going to be slow. We doubt if he's going to be able to improve on his 142.8. As he comes across, we'll just confirm that. And yes, certain enough. All right, let's go ahead and look at the man leading the F2 championship, Michael Hofferdaisen, coming off his best career finish last time out, a second place, currently sitting 6th. He's got Parabolica in front of him.
Yeah, some of his times at the top are very close. Alex Johnson only just beating David Burns for second and third by 0.005 of a second right now. Likewise, Johan Vandenbelt, Michael Haflidason in 5th and 6th right now, separated by 0.005 of a second. That's all Haflidason needs to pick up.
knocked up about, knocked up about 1/1500th of a second there. Went from
and somehow, 5 thousandths of a second between Johnson and Burns, and he found somewhere in the middle of them.
Janssen has a 1:42.85, Hofladessen with an 8.5, and Burns with an 8.5. The very left digit, a 3, a 5, and an 8. My, that's pretty amazing. All right, Tom Van Hooyman missed the opening round. He's currently 5th on the grid. Veteran of the series. See what Tommy's got in him. We've watched him racing a lot of these. Working his way into Parabolica now. Seeing if he can better his time. He doesn't have to do much. He can pick it up just a little bit. He'll skyrocket up maybe as far as even second on the charts. Let's see how he does as he comes to the start-finish line. And nope, his 42.895 is going to hold. Another driver having a good run is David Budelar, but that's not going to work for him. He's certainly 8th. 29 drivers putting in qualifying time so far. Let's go ahead and look at a driver who's always good in the F2 championship. That is Daniel Solo. He's certainly 19th. 5 drivers who've been out there have yet to put in times.
You don't see Gresdal behind him anymore. Marcus Gresdal had a spin coming out of Ascari, did the 360, so Solo is still out there trying to set a time. Jeffrey Price and Frederick Neptune.
There's some surprising names that are down the chart. Liam Quinn in the blackjack position right now. Surprisingly low for him. That's not going to work as he finishes and crashes it in the wall. Solo is going to stay in 19th position. And I think qualifying is just about done with a field here of 29. Our last car coming across. Frederick Neptune, the veteran of the series, and that time is not going to count.
Yeah, that's his 4th lap, but he turned and none of them counted. So you might want to try and keep on the track a bit more. And that's not the way to do that.
So with that done, and a standing start, and a pretty large field, let's go ahead to the grid right now, and we'll tell you how this thing sorts out. We'll take it a row at a time. The front row is João Valverde. He's going to be inside of defending champion Alex Johnson. Sam, how about row 2?
Well, row 2 has just 3 thousandths of a second separating Michael Haflidason from David Burns.
Tom Van Hooyman in 5th. He's going to be inside of Vincent Bream.
League admin Johan Vandenbeld will be starting from 7th ahead of David Portela.
9th and 10th goes to Juice Junk and Daniel Casas.
And the brain kick is on row number 6, Josh Brain and Thomas Kick. It sounds like a headache.
It does indeed. And the Baker's dozen spot is Neil Bamber, Ludwig Sauer in 14th.
Rodrigo Capitello will be starting from 15th ahead of Wojciech Powacek.
Next row is populated by Fabian Youngmuth and Patrick O'Leary.
Number 1 car will be starting in 19th position. That's Daniel Solo ahead of Paulo Preto.
Hitting blackjack is Liam Quinn inside of Marcus Gaston.
Nico Roman in home country for his last name, I suppose, starting 23rd ahead of Christian Group.
We got Rob Adams in 25th. And 26th, we have Marlius Margareta Maria, and then I run out of room there on that one. I can't read the last name.
He's going to be called the 11 car. Behind him is Graham Cravo and Lance Simon.
There we go. We're dropping down to Richard Salome and Jeffrey Price on 29th and 30th. We get to the drivers that did not put in qualifying time. John Morgan, Frederick Neptune, Edgar Sanginelli, Louis Morga, and Juan Luis Falcone. 35 names on the entry list, 29 put in qualifying times. We'll see how it plays out. Familiar names up front: Valverde, Janssen, Hofladessen, Burns, Van Hooyman, and Bream. Good to see Vincent Bream back for this one. He did not show up for the opening round, racing for Two Stupid Dogs. His partner, David Burns, sitting up there in 4th position.
Very concerned about these opening couple of chicanes here, Bill, especially with large field of open wheel cars that these drivers aren't too familiar with. Let's see how it goes.
Retificio will be first. It is a right-lefter coming up. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take cover on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. My goodness, they are racing very close together. Hofladezen and Burns back for third. They are really tight. They go 2 by 2 into the first chicane. Let's see how this is going to play out. The car on the outside is Janssen. He'll have to give it up. But look at the white car. That's Hofladezen making a move back there in fourth. He's fighting for that position. They settled down. Did they all get through? I think so.
Yeah, the first chicane has gone by without incident, but as they come down to the second chicane, it's not over because we're still side by side, even for the lead. Valverde on the outside and Johnson on the inside. As they enter the chicane, Johnson has the upper hand.
So the man from second gets the jump on the pole sitter. Valverde, Hofladezen, Burns, Vandenbeld back there challenging for a spot. Van Hoyman trying to get that. Now they go single files. They work through the Lesmos for the first time.
They come out of Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. They got one more chicane before the end of the lap.
Neil Bamber had a spin. He was racing in 13th position. He lost it. Luckily, he did not collect anybody. He sits frozen. He falls all the way back to the back of the field. A small incident for Bamber. A giant leap for mankind. Youngbluth makes a pass on O'Leary.
Plenty of overtaking opportunities around here, but none better than on the front straight, as we're seeing a side-by-side battle for fourth place between David Burns and Tom Van Humen.
There we go, Tom trying to duck in there.
Side-by-side for second.
All this going on behind Alex Johnson, who's pulling away. Hofladezen is now in second, but look at this battle for second. Here comes Valverde trying to make a move on the outside. They are side by side as they go across the line. Now Valverde with a bit of a nudge.
But 4 wide behind them.
And look at the mess back there for fifth. The car out in front is Burns, but my goodness, diving it in deeper than Confucius in a submarine. That's Juice Junk, and he makes the move, but it's not done yet. But Burns is right alongside of him, watching two guys in the popcorn position. That's Casas and Van Hoyman.
There's plenty of racetrack on the front straight that go 4 wide, and they took full advantage of it, but they needed to get sorted out by the chicane, and they did so. The battle for second continues. Hofladezen goes by Valverde, almost one. They work with each other.
You saw that at the top of the screen that Hofladezen got in there, so he's back to second. He is trailing by about a second and a half to the leader. Vandenbeld in fourth, having a quiet run. The man on the move, though, is back in fifth after he dove through Burns and Casas and Van Hoyman. I'm talking about Juice Junk. He's coming.
Oh, big crash at the back. A couple of cars upside down.
It looks like it is Daniel Casas who was racing in 8th position.
It's still going on, Bill. The track is still blocked. Fabian Jungluth is in it. Liam Quinn, Marcus Gredstall. There are multiple cars in this one.
Brian Brain gets through cleanly. My goodness.
Again, this continues for about another 10-20 seconds. The track's blocked. A couple cars still spinning across the circuit. And that took out a lot of names.
Meanwhile, opening up his lead, Alex Johnson now is up to 2 seconds. Now let's go to third real quick. Hofladezen has fallen off the back of Valverde. He is now under attack by Johan Vanderbilt. This is a battle for the final podium spot. But I'm telling you, the guy to watch is in the 14 machine, back in fifth. He's coming. Juice Junk, he's on a roll. Looking ahead at the two cars in front, you're going to get a seat as you're going to get to watch as Vanderbilt moves to the outside now, trying to make the pass on Hofladezen. He comes up, he'll have the preferred spot through Rogia. He gets it done. Hofladezen does not surrender the Casper, though, as he heads down into Lesmo. They are side by side. And I'll be darned if the Swedish driver doesn't get it back.
Yeah, Johan van den Belt, though, isn't giving up. He's going in the right direction. He started back in 7th, and he's already looking for 3rd as they go wheel to wheel down the hill towards Ascari. Johan is not going to have a desired line getting into the turn, but maybe if he can hold steady on the right side here, he might be able to edge him out. Yes, he is. So van den Belt takes 3rd place for now, but Havlidason and Jonk are going to have a good slipstream as they go down towards the Parabolica.
That's about 3 passes on this lap between those two, and here he comes, the number 14, going to duck to the inside. Just Jump is going to get this pass made. I don't think he's going to surrender. He's really good under braking. Side by side, he gets the momentum on the tight line. He gets it done. Let's see if there's a little dip-de-doo, a little hucklebuck, a little up and under for Hofladason. They are side by side out of Parabolica. Hofladason is going to get the nod at the line, get credit for being in front. Let's see what happens as they get down to Redifilio. Junk is very good under braking, but he's on the outside. He starts to pull away. Boy, more straight line speed from the number 14 car.
So Havlidason has actually lost 2 positions in the last half a lap. He's gone from 3rd and he's now faded back to 5th. And all that battling has allowed the drivers in 6th on back to close up a little bit.
Yeah, Hofladason has actually lost 11 positions. He gained 9, but lost 11 with all the going back and forth. He's been passing cars left and right. We're going to drop back a little bit and look at 13th position. This is a fun little battle. This is the Strudemeister. Thomas Kick under attack by Daniel Solo. Solo in the dark car is going to get that pass made, I think. Yes! Great racing going on there.
So, trying to get an update here after the big incident that took place a little while ago. It looks like we still have 21 cars in this race. So, unfortunately, as you watch timing and scoring scroll across at the top of your screen, if your favourite driver is 22nd on back, I've got bad news for you.
Looking at Johan van den Belt now in this battle with the man that's on the boot. They still race 1, 2, 3 van den Belt. This is a battle for the podium position. Just jumped up from 9th spot into 5th. Watch out for Hofladason back there. He's got to run.
This is the first time Jonk's really found himself towards the front of the pack. It's been easy for him. No, I'm sorry, but Michael had visions of making a 3 wide in there. And somehow he stays off of van den Belt. He's loose coming out of it. So is van den Belt. That's going to open the door for Hofladason again. Those 2 guys are going at it. Sam, Junk is driving away. Yeah, this is great news for Juice Junk. He would love this battle to continue because then they won't be able to get the draft off of him anymore. Top 2 have already broken away as this battle for 4th continues. Contact! And around goes van den Belt, and he's not in a hurry to get back going again. Probably because he's pointing the wrong way.
As is so often the case, van den Belt seems to get the worst of it. Whenever 2 cars get together, yeah, we're going to go on board. My dad used to say you can only dance the tango so long in a china shop before you break some porcelain. That's what's happened. These guys were going at it really, really hard. They were having fun. They just got together.
Yeah, well, they were giving each other less and less room each time was the other problem.
Come back live. All right, let's catch our breath and set the stage for you. Alex Johnson qualified in 2nd, was able to get around your points leader, Yal Valverde, and now he is out in front by, well, he's doing what he does, 2.7 seconds. Valverde has a comfortable lead over the man who's on the move, Juice Junk. Now, I'd say it's comfortable, but after I've seen what Junk can do, he's really coming. Hofladason is in a battle with Tom Van Hooyman right now for 4th position. You can see him you can look. There's the front guy, so you can see that the train gets really busy a little farther back. In fact, let's go to 4th right now, as Hofladason is going to get passed by Tom Van Hooyman.
So Tom picks off that position, and behind them, David Burns was going over the curb a little bit. This battle for 4th continues. We saw this not work out too well last lap around.
Hofladason will just not give up any spots here. He gets past more than one driver on the track. He fights back. let's stay on this as they head towards the chicane. Off-the-Dates will have the preferred position. They managed to get it done. Again, a great drive off. Let's stay on as they go to the Lesmos now.
Yeah, good little three-way scrap going on for 6th place behind them too. David Boitella being challenged by David Burns for that position, or the other way around rather. But to give you an update on why those drivers may have been a little bit more cautious through the De La Rosa chicane, Van den Belt did have to take a tow to the pits. So these drivers not wanting to join him may have been giving each other a little bit more room. Boy, this scrap is getting wild down into Ascari.
That's David Boutellard who gets the best of David Burns. Watching the whole thing is Vince Supreme, and all that nonsense has brought in Ludovic Sauer now back there in the 23.
Yeah,
here comes the pass up front. Burns makes the move.
I said there were 21 cars left. There's actually 22. That's Neil Bamber in 22nd place, being passed by that huge pack, just letting them go by. Heading into the Parabolica. Lots of side-by-side racing. The battle for 4th has broke up a little bit. This battle, though, for 6th place, definitely not.
Let's stay on it as they come across the line right now, heading down into Redifilio. There's going to be 2 wide. Graham says wisely, I'm not going to make it 3 wide, but he's going to have somebody alongside of him. The blue car out there, that is Sauer. Up front, it is Burns just ahead of Boutellard. Burns qualified in 4th, has fallen 2 spots back. Boutellard is up a spot into 7th. Boy, these cars are putting on a great show. Look at the hole that is punching back there for the guys behind. There goes Sauer's going to make the move on Brame. And remember, the 5th car in line, that's Neil Bamber. He's a couple laps down.
Well, these drivers all racing hard, Bill, because they all want to get into the position that the top 5 cars have, and that's kind of break away from the pack and, you know, get a bit of distance, not have to worry about challenges from behind. And to his credit, David Burns, who is leading this pack right now in 6th place, he's created a bit of distance over David Boitella, and David's a little bit more concerned about Ludwig Sauer behind him. This might all be to the advantage of David Burns. He might be able to pull away from this battle.
That settles down a little bit. Let's drop back to the battle right behind him in 10th position. This is Josh Brains and Rodrigo Capoletto. Capoletto looking to make the move as they go into Parabolica. Capoletto would like to crack the top 10 if he can. I think we can afford to stay on these guys. Let's stay on them all the way as they go into Redifilio. See how aggressive Capoletto is back there in his 69 machine. I think he's going to wait.
Yeah, if these two don't battle each other too hard, they might be able to catch up with that scrap for 7th going on ahead of him.
Yeah. I said he was going to wait, but I lied as he got a good run down there. He's side by side. He's going to drive it in deep. They will go side by side through Redifilio. Nope. Capoletto gets there first. So Brain falls back into 11th.
Oh, we heard at the top of a broadcast, Bill, that drivers were telling us the pit window. Oh, and Jonkas had a spin from 3rd place. Doesn't hit anything, but he's going to lose several positions. He's trying to do a 3-point turn and not doing a very good job of it.
Into Rogia. Van Hoyman gets by. Hofladezen gets by. Burns gets by. Boitellard gets by. Sauer is really slow negotiating it.
This chicane has definitely been one of a heavy trouble zones early on here. Jonk just losing it all on his own. He was running a pretty solid 3rd place, not being challenged either side, and now he's dropped all the way back to 11.
Yeah, he had worked his way through all that traffic as we look at Juice right now. Worked his way all by himself, was racing in 3rd and was just trying to put down hot laps, trying to catch the back of Valverde. Well, now he's got more work ahead of him. That means that Tom Van Hoyman is going to vulture himself into a podium position as they start to spread out a little bit, Sam, but a nice battle back for 8th.
Yeah, well, this is good news for us because it means we get to see Jonk pass a bunch of cars again, maybe. Rodrigo Capitello has had a really good lap. He started in 11th place. He's now up to 9th, challenging Sauer for 8th position. However, Sauer's got a nice slipstream off of Brem. and they're hitting pretty high speeds. Actually, let's try and get a speed trap on these cars. They're hitting about 160 miles an hour before that braking zone into the first corner.
Nicely spaced out, some good speed. Things are settling down a little bit, and we're about 5 minutes away before we have to go to pit stops. Yeah, I don't want to jump you around too much, but I'd like to go back to 12th position and talk about these F2 drivers. This is Daniel Solo and the Strudelmeister Thomas Kick back there in 13th looking on. Now starting to gain up a little bit, Nico Roma. Remember, these guys are all within the points as it pays down to 15th. So Nico coming in there in 14th position, Roman looking ahead of him. Last car getting paid, 1 point will be Jeffrey Price in 15th. He's got nobody behind him as Rob Adams is 5.5 seconds back. So Price looking to draw a little bit of blood in today's race. After a hectic opening few laps, things have settled down a little bit.
Yeah, however, I still expect a little bit of attrition towards the end of the race, Bill. Obviously, the field has calmed down so much now. I have a feeling that massive pile-up we saw coming out of Lesmo 2 on lap 3 or so is going to be the ugliest thing we see today. We've seen a change for position back here.
Best battle on the track. Capitoletto was able to work on Ludic Sauer. He made that pass, so Capitoletto is up into 8th. We're going to take a look at this one. These guys were working on. As they continue to battle, look at this. The battle continues. The blue car on the outside, that's Sauer, Capitoletto. They're going to go side by side through Rettifilio. And Sauer's going to have to surrender. Let's see if he's going to drive the Capitoletto to get off. He gets a pretty good drive off. Josh Brain back in 10th, watching it all happen. These three guys have to hustle because it's only about 3 seconds back to Juice Junk, who is really fast, assuming his car did not pick up any damage in this incident. Best battle on the track right now for 8th. Capitoletto, Sauer, and Brain. Brain takes it off a little bit wide into the beach. He's going to lose a little momentum as he tries to stay with the 2 cars in front of him.
Yeah, it'll probably stay this way for the next couple of turns. They've broken up a little bit through the Della Rosa chicane. The reason to mention the attrition, though, Bill, when you talk about how only a handful of these cars get points, attrition could pick up again, and so it could just be a very much a matter of survivor race and you'll score points. Something happened to Thomas Kick a couple of turns ago because he's now missing a nose cone on his 44 machine.
The Strudelmeister was having a great race.
I think it might have happened on the run through the Della Rosa chicane earlier this lap.
Oh, you know what? He got into the back of Nico Roman.
Oh, okay. He kicked the back of Roman's car, but he hasn't lost any positions because of it. As a matter of fact, he gained one.
Yeah, this is it. Now this is the yellow car in front. That's Roman that he's going to get into. Boink. Yeah, and so Roman has fallen behind Kick now. Now we're looking at Roman again, the yellow car, the brightly colored car. Yeah, he got a little bit loose right in front of the Strudelmeister, and the Strudelmeister hit him attack there.
If he can keep it out there for another 1 or 2 laps, he'll be able to get to the pit window and get it repaired in the scheduled pit stop. This is a battle for 9th we're watching right now between Sauer and Brain.
This is a good one. Both these drivers in the F2 Championship. Brain with a really good run out of the first Lesmo. Now he gets a good run out of there. Let's see if he can run him down as they head into Scari. Sauer up 5 spots into 9th. Brain up a single position to crack the top 10.
So a lot of aggressive racing to start this race, Bill, which kind of surprises me a bit. I had a feeling we would see some drivers trying to work with each other, get some draft and maybe save a bit of fuel, play a strategy card, but we really haven't seen any of that.
First driver to make a pit well out of the points. Richard Colomb comes in for a stop. He gets rolling as we work on the 20-minute mark right now. This actually might be a little bit early, Richard. Be careful. Now,
Again, though, he only needs to have a few cars retire and he'll be in points.
driver who was racing in 7th, David Butlar, making the stop, one of the first front runners to come in. If you want to mark that down on your clipboard, all you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, mark him down in 7th. We'll see how he fares out. If he can come out ahead of Capoletto. Daniel Solo making a stop. Jeffrey Price is going to stay out, pick up a couple of places. And as we get to this, right where we thought we would, Sam, right at the 20-minute mark, they're all starting to come in.
Yeah, I'm concerned for these guys, though. They're pitting a little bit ahead of the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, it's interesting. They come in ahead, but they go out afterwards, so it's hard to say how that's going to work out. None of the front runner, none of the big guys have to worry, though. Janssen is still out there. In fact, I think he'll probably be coming in this time. Why don't we go to our leader, and we'll see how you get onto pit lane as he's working his way to Parabolica. Let's watch a pit entrance here from the defending champion. You got to be fast, and you got to know how to make a pit stop. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's holding a 4-second lead, so he wouldn't have been able to save any fuel at this rate. Hasn't been able to draft anyone, and sure enough, he comes in. However, he did make it to that magical 20-minute mark. The big question is going to be, can anyone else go an extra lap?
No, the answer from Valverde was no, as it is Ben Hoyman and Hofladason. They're all coming in. It's a pit party. Vincent Green comes in from 6th. They're all coming in, Capoletto. Now, a fun little battle. We can watch this. This battle between 8th, and look at this. Juice Junk now has got up to the back of Josh Brain as they come in. Just to mark it down, Junk was in, I think, 11th position, actually, when he came in to make the stop, so you see how he plays out when the pit stops are over. Well, okay, Janssen is out. Valverde is out. Ben Hoyman is out in 3rd. They're all coming out in the same order they went in. Burns, Hofladason. Oh, a close battle though between Hofladason and Bream, as Bream is right behind him.
And David
Butlar. There it is.
Out right in the middle of this. Yeah, but you're right, Bill. No one can make it next lap. However, the fact that there's some drivers who made it to lap number 12,
right.
The drivers who could only make it at lap number 11, I'm a little concerned for.
Because now they have to go an extra lap. That's you got to figure the leaders went as far as they could, so we'll see how it plays out. The car to watch. Can we go back to go back? Oh, this is too good. Let's stay on this for a minute. This is too fun.
That's Vincent Brem on the inside, David Boitala on the outside, Michael Hafler-Ladason hoping they continue to battle this way. Boitala comes out on top as they exit the second Lesmo.
Driving away was Hofladason, 5th. Let's stay on this now. Brem trying to see if he can dive it in as they head down into his car. He's going to do braking, and he gets it right back. Racing or dancing? I'm not sure.
Boitala is one of those I'd be a little concerned on fuel for, so don't know how much it's hurting him actually trying to race hard in this.
All right, now we're going to... Well, they set that down. I'd like to go to 10th position as soon as they get that sorted out. All right, let's go back there. I hate to leave a battle that's going on, but this guy's fun to watch. The guy at 11th, this is Juice Junk. We've seen him work his way through. He's working on the back of Josh Brain as they go down the street. We'll go on board and see how the pass is made. Brain taking the defensive position. Now he eases it over to the left. He's going to surrender the spot. Junk coming in there. He's got position. He's going to force the issue down into Renofilio. Yes, he is. Boy, he keeps Brain pinned to the outside, and the pass is made. Next on the Junk hit list will be Rodrigo Capoletto.
Yeah, and they both passed Jeffrey Price. I was wrong. It looks like Jeffrey Price was able to stretch out an extra lap of fuel compared to everyone else.
There you go. Price coming out right now. He's going to sort out in 14th position behind Thomas Kick. Still going to get paid. And that moves Rob Adams. Oh, Butlar has had an issue. All by himself. This was through Rogia. Right in front of Vincent Brame. You know, Vincent might give you the best view of this one. because he got an eyeful of it. That's Udelar and Brame. Udelar was racing in 6th position at the time. There you can see the car get up on the curves. Take a look at it from the guy who had the best view of it. The car nicely clears out of the way. And Vincent says, thank you very much. We come
Not
back.
missing much up front. As I say that, Johnson overshoots the first corner, almost went off, but he didn't, and it probably only cost him half a second. It doesn't matter because he's holding a 5.5 second lead over Valverde in the first place.
Things settling down a little bit. Let's see if we can find ourselves a battle to look at up front. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's check in on Capoletto then in 7th position. 1.2 seconds up on the man who is coming, just junking. I think this is probably the most exciting thing to watch right now as the number 14 machine. Gonna set the record for most cars passed. Maybe Hofladays would be in that running as well. He's gone through a lot. Gap 1.4. We'll see how the how Junk does here racing out of the Benelux. Ream ahead of these guys by 1.5 seconds. Goes him.
Yeah, Rodrigo Capoletto, as you mentioned, he's he might not have passed the most amount of cars on track, but definitely one of the big movers in the race with regards to position, going from 15th to 7th. However, the driver was able to stretch a lap longer on fuel than everyone else, deserves a shout out too, and that's Jeffrey Price. I know he doesn't get a feather in your cap, Bill, because he didn't set a qualifying time, but still, he's gone from 30th to 14th. So, and he did all that while saving fuel.
Nevertheless, he was a while ago when we checked in on him. He was going to get 1 point for being in 15th. He's worked his way up 1 more spot. He'll get 2 points now. That means Rob Adams is going to get his points scored.
That means he increased his day's results by 200%. That's a good day for the business.
That's right. 18 drivers still on the lead lap. Sam earlier talked about attrition. We've lost quite a few.
Yeah, I think we've still got 19 cars left running. Richard Coulomb lap down. Nico Roman here, the last car on the lead lap in 18th place. Obviously, lap traffic shouldn't be a factor for the leaders if they do catch these guys, because there's lots of straights around here to make a pass on.
Things have sorted out a little bit, settled down after a very exciting early stint. Give a shout out to Capoletto. He's been able to fend off Juice Chunk in 8th position. That gap now 2.1 seconds, Sam. So Rodrigo minding the gap.
Josh Brain must have had a moment coming out of a Rettifilio chicane this lap, because he's lost 9th position in quite some time. He's down in 10th now.
See if we can find it since we have a little break. We can take a look at this one. See what happened to Josh. Josh is notorious for doing well in the F2 Championship. Back it up one more time and take a look at it. About to show up right now. We got a good angle. Let's see what happened to Josh. Yeah. He's in a little bit of a hurry. Careful going over those curves.
By the way, that moment that Alex Johnson had down at the Rettifilio chicane, our race leader a couple of laps ago, cost him about a second to Valverde, because that gap was at about 5.5 seconds. Now it's down to 4.5. So things still in Johnson's favour, but he needs to be, can't afford to make too many of those mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Round number 2, the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Neagle. We've been covering this for many seasons here on GSRC. Looks like we got another good one happening. What are we looking at here? This is Valverde. We're making a This is Janssen making a pass, going around. Okay, going around the back marker. That was Nico Roman.
You're right about the half.
I'm glad the director got us to Nico Roman while he was on the lead lap before he went a lap down. So now there's only 17. Go ahead.
Yeah, right about the halfway point of this race, Johnson's about to complete lap number 17. Almost makes you think it's going to be about a 35-lap race, and now you can see the problem for all those drivers who pitted on at lap 11. Is lap 11, lap 22, and lap 33 doesn't get you to the end.
Just Junk, who was racing in 9, trying to run down Capoletto, had another incident. It looked like it happened in the same place that got him before, and that's Rogia. He loops the car around, and now he's fallen down a few more positions. He's back in 9th right now behind Butelar. So Capoletto can breathe a little easier.
Good news for Jonk, he's still got half a race left, but whatever result he gets today, it's not going to be representative of his pace, because he's definitely had the pace to be up there in the top 5, maybe even podium, but a couple of mistakes I think are going to keep him from that.
Well, he had worked his way up to 3rd before he had trouble. He was trying to run down Valverde, and that's what got him. So, yeah. Oh, Ludwig Sauer with an issue. This one. Oh my goodness, he might have got some wall here. This looks like the car bites to the left here. Does he get it? And since it's kind of quiet right now, once we look at it, then we can take a look at it one more time from Daniel Solo in car number 1. He has a great view of it. Look at this Solo, and Solo, to take evasive action, has to miss the chicane. There, you saw it right there. We don't need to look at it anymore. That's a good look at that one. So Solo, he'll get a slowdown penalty for that.
Yeah, right around the same time, Capoletto ran into some kind of issue, because he has lost 7th place to Butelar. He'd been running about 5 seconds up the road from him, so Butelar has now moved up into 7th place. Capoletto has dropped to 8th.
Yep.
Still a net gain for Capoletto over the course of the race. He started back in 15th.
Made the mistake, and Rogia again, just like everybody else is, he loses that spot. Capoletto making his 46th career start today. He's top 5s. Not going to get one today as he's passed by Butelar. So those guys continue to make mistakes and swap positions amongst themselves. Good battle though now. Capoletto actually gets the spot back from Butelar when we come back live. And begins to pull away.
Yeah, we're watching them live on the run down to the Rettifilio chicane here. And it seems, well, I was about to say, it looked like Butelar kind of gave up the fight, but he gets a nice run on Capoletto coming down. Almost wondered Butelar's... Oh, and Capoletto clips the curve, spins again. Is that identical to what he did last time, Bill?
That was a little farther along through Rogia than it was last time. He spun that one onto the pavement. And that allows star number 14, Junk to get around it. And while that goes on, Solo has an issue. He was side by side with Ludwig Sauer. And guess what corner it was? It was Rogia. Sauer in the blue car. Solo on the inside. All right, so Solo is down in 12th now. Sauer in 11th. All right, let's look in on 9th place. This is Capoletto. Rain behind him. And you know who's ahead of Capoletto? It's so funny. Those guys have spun enough that Juice has worked his way back up in 8th position.
Yeah, they might not be done spinning yet.
No, I don't think so.
I almost wonder if someone told them that if they won today's race, they get a pizza, and you know that kind of makes them all drive a bit more aggressively, because who doesn't want a free pizza?
There you go. Why don't we stay on these guys and see how they do through Rogia? That seems to claim at least one car each lap, so keep that in mind if you visit Italy. Maybe that's where you want to put your, spread out your picnic blanket there and watch. All right, here we go. Junk is through. Capoletto manages, and Josh Brain also gets through. Hey! Well done, boys. Fun race going on. All this going on behind the Swede with speed, Alex Janssen.
He just put Wilhelm Cravo a lap down in 17th place.
Cravo fights back a bit.
Oh yeah, he's trying to fight back.
Let's go to the lead real quick. This is fun. Little Willie putting on a show back there in 17th. He wants to stay on the lead lap.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen more drivers just complacent to draft around here today. I mean, we know fuel's a concern.
You can see Valverde back at the very top of your screen there. He can see Janssen. If Janssen makes a mistake, Valverde's close enough that he could get there. He's 6 seconds back. Got the cushion of Cravo between him and the leader. Sam, I think it's important we point out that there are no drop races in this one. So even though Janssen's getting the win, he's got some work to do with a 0 that first round.
Yeah, another thing I was just thinking of, Bill, here is strategy. These cars don't like cold tyres. They're very light cars. It's not exactly a long race. And what we saw at our season opener is drivers opt to not take tyres during the pit stop. I have a feeling we'd see more of that today. This isn't exactly the most abusive racetrack on tyres, with one exception. For all the drivers who have been spinning, I almost wonder if that's kind of a double penalty. If you do get involved in the spin, you might have to take tyres during your pit stop. Could cost you some extra time in pit road.
Yeah, they would rather not do that if they could. All right, here's the best battle on the track. I'll be gosh darn if Rodrigo Capoletto is not done with just junk yet. Capoletto's really having a good race back there as he hopes to get that 8th position.
Yeah, the winner of this battle will be the one who loses the least amount of time in their next spin.
Yeah, exactly. It's a battle between who can spin it the fastest and get it back out on track. Capoletto closing in now, about 3 car lanes back. Now here's the good news, Rodrigo. If you can't get the pass made, it's going to be the pit window is going to open up probably next time around, if not the time after that. So get yourself close enough so you can jump them in pit lane.
It was just a change for 14th place. It wasn't a very tough one though. Thomas Kick just let Rob Adams by for that position. Almost wonder if Thomas Kick is racing with a bit of damage right now. We saw him run into some trouble earlier on. Remember, no free repairs in this series.
Good news for Kick is he has almost a half-minute lead on Lance Simon for that final points-paying position. So I don't think he has to worry about that. As I say that, boy, through parabolic, he almost puts it in the wall. All right, let's watch this one. This is fun. Capoletto is right on the gearbox of Young, back by about a car length now, just waiting for an opportunity or a mistake or a pit stop.
Well, we might see some pit stops this lap. It's lap 22 and some cars pitted on lap 11. However, we're only 38 minutes into the race, so if you do pit this lap, that does mean you are going to have to make an extra stop before the end.
Leader goes by one more time, as does Valverde. They're all going to go around once more. Looking for the driver that came in early. I guess it was Butalar that we had to worry about. Let's see if David, if he can go one more lap. And it looks like Butalar is... Oh, he's going to go around one more time, so let's hope he makes it. Not the case for Colomb. He's going to come in, but he's not on the lead lap.
Yeah, Nico Roman in as well. He's also had a rough race.
Well, let's hope the driver in 7th. Oh, look at this battle. There it is. Gonna dive it in. That's the Yunk on the inside. The pass was made. Capoletto now gets that spot. Juice is not going to give up on it in his yellow and blue machine, fighting to get there. He's got a good run. He worked through the Grande.
Oh, and Jeffrey Price has had the spin coming out of the parabolica. We'll keep an eye on this battle. Price doesn't hit anything.
We'll stay on this one. Now they work through the danger zone as they work through Rogia, and they both managed to get it done. And Junk now back out in front.
Yeah, this was quite a scary one here, Bill, because you're never sure where the car's going to go, and also Parabolic at such a long turn, he would have been blind, a blind obstacle to any drivers coming through the turn behind him. Fortunately, he was able to get the car recovered quickly and get going again before any problems arose.
Take a look at this one. Yeah. Then he leaves it there. Let's stay on it for just a bit because I believe a car does sneak by. No, he rolls it off. He's safe. Okay. We come back live looking at him. So where did he sort down to? Price now banned in the 14th position.
Boitala does come in. He is the first of our front runners in. The good news for him is we have gone over the 40-minute mark.
Capoletto, after fighting with Junk, is now coming in. Our leaders are out. Valverde's still out there. Van Hoyman, a quiet third place, still racing out there. In fact, can we check in on third? Because little by little, Third Degree has been running down Tom Van Hoyman. That gap only 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, this could definitely change during this round. The pit stops coming up. I expect we'll see a lot of these drivers into the pits this time by.
Interesting. Boitelar was in, I believe, in 7th position when he made his early stop. All right, let's see if our leader comes in. Our leader's coming out of Parabolica right now, and yep. It's the final call for the pit party.
Yep, all these guys came in on lap 12. It's lap number 24 now. And by the time they get to lap 36, this race will be over. So all these guys should be safe. Now, of course, as I say that, it doesn't mean some might try and be a bit advantageous and only put, 9/10 of a tank of fuel in their car.
Right. Van Hoyman had a 9/10. You talked about 9/10. 9/10 of a second lead on David Burns. We'll see how that plays out. 5-second stop for Janssen. He is out. Valverde's rolling as well. And it looks like Van Hoyman gets out. Burns is still sitting there. Now he's rolling. The gap between Van Hoyman and Burns, which was once just a touch over a second, is now a touch over 2 seconds.
Good battle for 16th going on between Lance Simon and Grilhelm Cravo. These two fighting hard, considering the fact that, yes, they might not be racing for points right now, but if a car in front of them runs into trouble, they want to be in the catbird seat. And right now, Cravo going to try and get that, goes down the inside, takes a spot.
Indeed he does. Simon will have to go back into 17th. They've all made their stops now. Well, let me apologize. One try. Jeffrey Price. He went long the first time. I think he's going to go long again because he's still out there. He's worked his way up into 12th because of that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, any time that he will gain by making his last stop a bit shorter, he lost a couple of laps ago in that spin in the Parabolica.
There's Price. So pretty much they all come out the way they went in. An interesting battle we'll have to watch to see if David Burns can run down Tom Van Hoyman for that final podium spot. He was closing on him before the pit stop. There you can see them all coming at you. Some of the those, that was Cravo and Simon involved in that mix as well. There were 4 cars coming at you.
Alright, so the gap between them at the line is 1.5 seconds. Keep an eye on that.
And we should probably check in if we could. Don't want to jump you around too much, but let's quickly look at 8th position. This is that battle between Junk and Capoletto. When we last checked, Capoletto had got there. They both made their stops, and now that gap is 1.3. So we'll see what Rodrigo can do if he can close them in with 15 minutes of racing to go.
Josh Drain not too far behind them both in 10th place. If they start to dice it up a little bit and lose time.
I'm going to hire Jeffrey Price as my chauffeur because he's going to save me a lot of money on fuel. He stays out another lap. He's got a light touch.
When Jeffrey Price, he's currently running in 12th. When he pits, he should easily come out in 13th. Rob Adams in 14th is quite far back.
Let's jump in on David Burns right now in 4th position. The car he's going around is Lance Simon. They had to negotiate a couple back markers. Remember, Burns is trying to run down Tom Van Hoyman. Van Hoyman did a really good job of getting around those guys. Burns lost a little bit as they had to get around Simon. Simon racing in 17th. Second car 1 lap down. In fact, 15 cars are on the lead lap. Last car in the points paying position, last car on the lead lap, Thomas Kick. Give a little love to the Strudelmeister. It's a good time to catch him as he works through Rosia. There we go.
And let's remember what we were saying earlier. Thomas Kick had, I wouldn't say about top 10, just outside the top 10 run going on earlier, and ran into some trouble that I think has damaged his car. Even though visually it looks okay from here, I don't think it's as fast as what was at the start of a race. So Cravo will be hoping that's not the case, and he might be able to run him down in the long run. 13 minutes of this race left to go.
Just for these guys, as they all should be able to vulture a position, as Jeffrey Price finally had to make that stop.
Well, no, I think this stop is going to be so short that Price is only going to lose a spot to Adams. If that, in fact, he might get out in front of him.
Well, this will be fun. Adams working his way through Parabolica right now. And Price is rolling, although his pit stop was so far back. He's a long time before he can get on the power. And Adams goes by.
Price will easily come out in 14th place, so.
Yep, Kick is not going to be able to get him as he comes out about 5 seconds ahead of Thomas. Maybe 3 seconds by the time he gets it up to speed. And now, you know, Sam, we were talking about Burns trying to run down Van Hoyman for 3rd. Well, that's not happening. It's going the other direction because Hoflades is coming now.
Yeah, did something happen to Burns that lap?
Now, well, no, that car, that's Simon right there. Remember, Burns had to work his way around Simon. I wouldn't be surprised if the way this is going. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Burns is worried about fuel. Lance doing a good job of getting out of the way. As your F2 champion, point leader right now, Michael Hofladason goes by.
Yeah, Burns' last lap time was 5 seconds off a pace, so something happened to him, and that's allowed Hofladason to run him down here for 4th.
We'll stay on this a little bit. Burns gridded in 4th, racing in 4th. Hofladason gridded in 3rd. Go back a little bit, but he's coming. Oh my goodness, he's there. Let's see if he can get it done now. He gets a good run. Oh, this is a done deal as they head down into Ascari.
I don't know if that's Burns letting him by or if he was trying to break a slipstream by just diving to the right there. But yeah, almost seems like Burns has gone into fuel conservation mode.
I'm going to take a quick look to see if they're... Go ahead.
He's got a bit of damage to his front wing. don't know if that's recent, if it's affecting him at all.
Yeah, I think I see what happened. I think he picked up a slow. This is a couple laps back, so we're not going to be able to find it. But into Rosia, I believe he got a slowdown penalty. Oh yeah, he took. Oh my goodness, he took it over those big yellow curves. I think he's damaged the car. Yep, I'm pretty sure that car is damaged. So he's back to this. Now here's the good news. There's 10 minutes of racing to go, and he's got 4.6 seconds on his teammate Vincent Brame. Josh Brame and Sauer. Sauer up ahead of the blue car. That gap 7/10 of a second. Brame would like to rack the top
so
10.
something's happened with Vincent Brame in 6th place. I think he collided with the lapped car of Wilhelm Gravo. Let's see how much this has affected his car. It's happened down in the first chicane.
I think it was a self-spin. I don't think there was contact. I think it's just a coincidence that Crable was on the track as well. That's not connected. Crable spun earlier. It's just must be oil on the track. We'll see it right here. Now you won't see Crable, but right about now, Crable is spinning in Retifilio. And there you see the spin already up there, and then Brame makes a spin as well.
He was probably not paying attention to his braking marker or corner markers, trying to keep an eye on the other car that was having trouble. And fortunately, I think it's a no harm, no foul deal. He
Hofladason, as we speak. Hofladason is slow. This may be just not too much farther back. Hofladason had a spin. He had to give the position back to Burns. Here we go. From Burns, let's strap to Hofladason, who will be one position up, I think. Still on Burns. Can we get we need to get Hofladason. There we go. All right. And I think we'll probably see it here, assuming Hofladason. This is the spot, I believe. Yep. Here it comes. I might have missed it. Nope. There it is. Good catch.
Seems like a harmless spin, except the problem is you're carrying so much speed exiting the car. He was losing a lot of time and ground relative to his competition. So Hofladason in 6th now. Still 2 consistent finishes to open up the season. Good in the championship, the overall championship, as well as the AM championship. Yeah. However, the competition's going to have to step up their game if they want to do anything about Valverde, who won our season opener and is currently having a solid run in 2nd place today.
Looking here at Just Junk, he had an issue, and I'll take a guess where it was. It was Rogia again. Right in front of, oh my goodness, Capoletto takes evasive action and doesn't hit him. That's Capoletto second. Oh, nice move from, Rodrigo. Well done. Did he get him? Right wing damage to Capoletto.
Good news.
Nevertheless,
guys don't have to race with damage for much longer. The race is almost over.
Those two have been putting on quite a show between them. I don't know how many times they've passed each other. Sometimes on the track, sometimes waving each other in the grass. I want to talk real quick about Burns, what happened, how his fortunes played out for him. He's racing in 4th. He made a mistake. He was trying to run down Tom Van Hooyman, made a mistake, damaged the car, had to surrender the position to Hofladason, was going to lose the spot to Vincent Brame. Brame was going to run him down. Brame has a spin, Hofladason has a spin, and Burns finds himself back up in 4th again with an injured car. 4.3 seconds, 4.2 seconds, 4.1 second on his teammate Vincent Brame. Don't think there's enough time for Vincent to get there.
It depends how quick he's able to catch him. There's still a few laps left around here, and of course if there is damage on the car that's affecting him on the straightaways, it'll be when they get around to the front straight that he'll really be losing those chunks of time. Alex Johnson, our race leader, is actually coming across the start-finish line right now with 5.5 minutes left on the clock, so unfortunately, I think we might be looking at about 4 more laps, and we are hearing Tom Van Humen, currently running in 3rd place. We're being told on the YouTube chat that we don't think he has enough fuel, didn't get the car fueled up properly, so that'll allow David Burns to maybe come out of today's race with a podium bill.
Well, let's see what happens. I don't believe it until it actually happens. Sees Van Hooyman now working his way through Rettifilio with 5 minutes to go. Take a look at his stop. Well, it was pretty quick. He was in the box for 4.5 seconds. I believe that is the fastest stop of anybody out there, yeah.
Bill, the thing I think he might have going in his favour is I think this race is going to go a lap longer than what some drivers anticipated, because Johnson crossed the start-finish line with 5.5 minutes left to go. The way I calculate it, in 3 laps' time, he'll cross the line with about 15 seconds left on the clock. So this is going to be... I just hope the drivers accounted for that.
We're showing 3 to go at the line. The good news for Van Hooyman, he has 13 seconds on Burns. Maybe this won't be too costly for him. Not sure what the bogey time is for a splash and go. Burns is not all that quick right now.
Well, the other problem for Hooyman is there's a lot of cars right behind Burns. Brem, Havladason and Boitelar are all covered by about 8 seconds. However, I have a feeling Boitelar might be another car who may have to pit again.
And I'm telling you also, Burns is struggling as well. Remember that gap was left. It's now down to under 2 seconds between him and Vincent Bream. This could be good news for Van Hooyman, that Burns is slow. He might be able to come in. Okay, and here comes Tom now. Burns working through Parabolica. Oh, that's too sad for Van Hooyman.
Dropping back to 7th.
Burns goes by. Bream goes by. Hofladason goes by. Boutilar is going by. Van Hooyman sits. Capoletto out of Parabolica. Van Hooyman rolling. I don't know if he's going to get there. I think Capoletto's going to get him as well. Let's see how it plays out. He's rolling, and there goes Rodrigo. Oh, Thomas.
Well, Tom might be able to fight and try and get that 7th position back there.
All right, let's go to 3rd. Burns is struggling, and here comes his teammate, Vincent Bream. Now, they are teammates. Let's see if there's any team rules here.
Yeah, it should be in Burns' best interest to just let him by. I mean, Bream would easily be able to get him on the straight, and he's only a couple of seconds up the road from Havladason. He doesn't want to hold up his teammate and allow Havladason to get by both of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking the other way, though. Burns is in the championship hunt. Bream is not. He missed the first race. Let's see if it really doesn't make an advantage for Bream to get the podium, although Bream would like to get a podium. Let's see how it plays out between these two guys. They have been racing as teammates for as long as I can remember. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if that was David trying to get out of the way or if he almost put it in the wall, but nevertheless, a teammate goes by. 2.4 seconds now back to Michael Hofladason. Burns is not safe in 4th.
But Burns can... Bream should just keep on the racing line here, let his teammate draft him. He's not going to swerve and try and drop his teammate back. He knows Burns can't pass him on pace, but maybe if Burns can pick up a bit of speed here, he'll be able to pull away from, or maintain the gap over Havladason.
Our leader working our way through the Lesmos right now. Alex Johnson. 1.5 laps to go. He's got 8 seconds on Yal Valverde. Valverde will continue to be our points leader. Johnson's win will move him up the ladder considerably. He missed the opening round. Vincent Bream looking for a podium. Been a long time since we've seen Vincent on a podium.
And you're about to see the concern I've had for some of the drivers who may have been a bit liberal with their fuel usage, is that Johnson is going to take the white flag, start the final lap with only about 20 seconds left on the clock. And I wonder that they're currently working lap 34. I wonder if some drivers only filled their car up to lap 34. We'll find out as Johnson comes to start the last lap of the race.
As he goes underneath, about 34 seconds behind Janssen is a nice battle for fourth position, and it is Burns who's trying to nurse that car around. Here comes Mikael Hofledesen trying to get one more pass made on the track before this is done. Meanwhile, our leader has negotiated Renofilio now working through Kurt Grande. We'll come back to him when he gets to Parabolic and we'll call the finish. Let's go ahead and stay on Burns and Hofledesen, because I think that Michael is coming, and I don't think David's going to have any answer for him.
No, David will lose this position. The good news for David Burns is that at the next car to pass him, David Breutelaar had to spin over in Ascari, and that will actually keep David Burns in fifth position, I think.
They work through there, so that means Breutelaar is going to settle
seventh.
for sixth.
Battle for seventh on the final lap. One lap left to settle this dispute between Capoletto and Human.
The lap car they went around, that was Nico Roman, who just made a pit stop. They go side by side. Oh, they touch and they spin. That is Van Humen, who's going to get the worst of it. Capoletto's going to go on in seventh. Meanwhile, our leader, we're going to get the quick leader as our leader is heading down into Parabolica right now. Tom Van Humen had to make that extra pit stop. Then he got together with Capoletto. My goodness, Capoletto has had a season's worth of excitement in one race. Meanwhile, he missed the first round, but he's back. The defending champion, the Swede with speed, Alex Janssen wins round 2 here from Monza. Gal Valverde, opening round winner, is going to take second and remain the points leader. Vincent Bream, it's been a long time since we've seen that stupid dog find himself on a podium. He's going to come home in third ahead of his teammate, David Third Degree Burns. Now, let me correct myself. Hofledesen got around Burns, so it's going to be Hofledesen in fourth. Burns back in fifth. Sixth place for Breutelaar. Capoletto, my gosh, he's going to get seventh. Tom Van Hoyman, who was up in third, had to lose that podium with an extra pit stop. He'll get eighth. The guy who probably passed more cars than anybody, Juice Young, is going to get ninth as he comes around Parabolica. And the rest of the drivers on the lead lap, Ludwig Sawyer, Josh Brain, and Daniel Solo. The racing is over here at Monza. Our broadcast is far from done. We're going to take a short break, then we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching GSRC. Stay close. sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. From Monza, welcome back to GSRC's Round 2 coverage of the Season 16 Formula Neagle Championship. Let's give you the finishing order right now. It is the defending champion. He qualified on second, got the lead early, was able to take it from there. It is Alex Janssen. Round 1 winner, Yal Valverde, is going to come home in second and retain his points lead. Vincent Bream, it's been 12 races since that stupid dog has been on the podium. Good to see him there again ahead of Michael Hofladezen, who will continue to lead in the F2 Championship. David Third Degree Burns was fast, but once again will have to settle for a position not worthy of his speed as he gets fifth. The back half of your top 10, David Butlar, Rodrigo Capoletto, who had a seasons full of excitement in one race. Boy, he comes home in seventh. Tom Van Hooyman throws away a podium with a bad pit stop. Juice Junk, boy, he was fun to watch as he worked his way all the way up to third, spun the car several times, settles for, what would that be, ninth position. Rounding out your top 10, Ludwig Sauer. Sam?
Behind him, Josh Brame finishes another 4 seconds down the road in 11th place. The last drive on the lead lap was Daniel Solo. Rob Adams said he ran out of fuel just after the finish line. Well, that's perfectly timed. He finished a lap down in 13th place ahead of Jeffrey Price, who finished 14th and was able to save a bit more fuel than his competition. Thomas Kick was the last driver to score a point after racing with damage for a lot of the race, and then Lance Simon, unfortunately, was the first driver on the outside looking in. Following him across the line was Richard Gloom, Guilherme Cravo and Nico Roman in 19th. Now you get to all the drivers who were out of a race. A lot of our attrition came early on. In 20th place there, Neil Bamber.
Yeah, here's a driver that had big hopes, and again, it went south on him, and that is Johan Vanderbilt, finishes in the blackjack position after qualifying in 7th. Frederick Neptune, Christian Brule. We get to car number 11 in the 24th position. I'm going to take a shot at this one more time. Marios Margareta Maria. I can't see it just runs out of room. I'm going to say Hendrickson. I know that's not right. Daniel Casa in 25th position. After that is Fabian Youngblood, Marcus Gastal, Liam Quinn, Mr. Excitement. Not a good race from him. Didn't qualify well, didn't race well. Wojciech Podolczak back there in 29th, 30th. Patrick O'Leary, Paulo Prado, John Morgan, Edgar Sanchinelli did not race with us today. So there you have it. 31 drivers took the grid, and we gave you all of those finishing order right there. Let's go ahead and talk to our race winner right now. He missed the first one. He is the defending champion. It is good to have him back. Alex Janssen, congratulations. Let's talk about the very early lap. Alex, you and Yal Valverde were battling very hard early on. You were able to get the lead.
First of all, thank you very much, guys. That was a very nice win. I have struggled quite a bit with F3 car, probably like everyone else as well, but this felt very, very good. Regarding me and Joao, I think I ran a little bit less downforce than him, so I basically knew that, so I could catch him into the second chicane. Because I knew if I wouldn't, Michael would have caught us both probably. So I thought if I can get the gap on them fast, then it would work out. And it did.
The corner that caught everybody out is, I would say, probably a dozen incidents there. Was that second chicane, Variante della Roggia. Is there anything that was made it difficult for you there? But boy, we must have seen 10 cars spin out.
It is a very difficult corner. I think we ran a little bit softer on the suspension than most other people, which helped us over the curbs. But still, that corner is a beep in the ass. But yeah, worked out fine.
Last question for you. With the pit window so tight, were you able to run full throttle the whole race and get those pit stops in right where you needed them?
Yeah, we were considering to fuel save a little bit because we were 0.3 or something off getting another lap in, but then we decided not to because I really lost my rhythm when we started doing that. So, but yeah, we just put in full fuel both stops, and it worked out fine. We had about a lap and a half left in the tank when we went across the line.
All right, well, it's good to have you back. Congratulations on the win. You missed the first one, but you picked up just where you left off last season. Good luck. Let's see if you can close yourself in on that championship.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to. I've decided to sell my pedals because I'm going to build new ones from scratch. So I will be sidelined for a while.
You're going to build new... Okay, Whatever you do, when you do come back, take some pictures. We'd like to see how those play out. We'll put them on GSRC to see how you do. Good luck with that project.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for tonight.
Gonna build new pedals from scratch. My gosh, that is talk about some people who have the ingenuity. All right, who you got, Sam?
We've got our second place finisher and our championship leader. Congratulations, Zhao.
Thanks, guys.
Well, let's be honest. Last part of a race was probably a bit boring for you. You were kind of just running out there in second. But how were the opening few laps? It was very crazy from our perspective.
Yeah, I think the race was pretty much defined on the first 3-4 laps. As soon as I lost Alex's draft, I knew I wouldn't catch him. So it was just picking my pace, staying calm, making the necessary fuel savings, and that was it.
Yeah, so how did you approach those opening few laps, knowing that fuel could be a concern? And, you know, there's a lot of trouble zones on this track. We saw a multi-car wreck back in the pack, took out about 10 cars. What were your goals for those opening few laps?
Just take it easy, probably for the first 5 laps, and hope that everybody around me would think the same, and then go from there. My plan was, and I set up the car that way, was to just draft behind most likely Alex, and then see where I was in the final 5-10 laps.
Well, where you were in the final 5-10 laps was second place. I know it's not a race win, but still good for your championship. I assume that's a goal. You're going to be at the next 5 rounds and try and bring home the crown?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a bad result. I can be very happy with that.
All right, well, congratulations on second place today, Yao, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Yao Valverde, your second place finisher today and your points leader. Okay, I get the honor of talking to our third place finisher today, Vincent Bream. April 1st, 2018. Vincent, you know what that date is?
I think it's my last podium.
You got it, baby! You got it, man. You got that calendar working. Congratulations. Without talking about that podium, was there any thought of letting David have it?
No, David was he was too slow after he got damage on the curb. So he was losing like 2 seconds a lap. So even if I stayed behind him, Michael was gonna catch up. So he just let me go, and yeah, finally a podium.
We've seen you race in the Skippies. We've seen you race in the Formula Renault, the 2.0, and now in these Dallara Formula 3s. Which car suits you the best?
Oh, the F3. For sure. I'm a lot more on pace with this car than I was with the Formula Renault, and also more consistent. So yeah, this is definitely better.
Well, here's the good news. Not only a third place finish from you, but your teammate comes home in 5th. So those are big points for 2 stupid dogs.
Yeah, we did well this time, finally.
Can you tell me, I've been calling these series for a long time. Can I finally get the backstory on what 2 stupid dogs are?
It was a cartoon from our youth. I think it was the 80s or the 90s. And we're called after that. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I support anything that is a cartoon from your youth. Congratulations. A good points day for that 2 Stupid Dogs team. We'll see you the rest of the way. Good luck.
Thank you very much. And thanks for the broadcast.
Been a long time since we talked to Vincent Bream. Good job on that. Do we have one more? Who do you got, Sam?
Yeah, we got Michael Haflidason here, finished 4th place. And Michael, you had a very entertaining race. How would you rank it?
I'd rank it pretty low, but it still was fun. I had a really horrible start to the race. Couldn't get up to pace or anything. And then I had an incident with Johan. And Johan, if you see this, I'm really sorry, but I do not know whose fault that was. Yeah,
it looked like some very close racing on our end. Fortunately, you came off okay out of it, and you say you had an up and down race. You don't seem too pleased with it, but I mean, you have a podium finish at Mid-Ohio. You got 4th place today. 2 good results to kick off the season.
Yeah, for sure. And I felt like I had the base on Vincent, but then again, too many mistakes set me back. And I think if I can cut down on the mistakes, I'll be up there fighting with Alex, who did an amazing job today leading.
Now, you're only 12 iRacing points off of being a pro driver. Do you have any intentions of doing some official series races later this season and becoming a pro driver, or are you happy they're racing for the AM Championship?
Well, obviously, like, the thing with official events, they're so hard because most people are driving like assholes, if I may say. It's much cleaner racing in series, so like I'm almost not racing in official anymore. So we'll have to see, but yeah, maybe I'll get that iRating up.
All right, well, commiserations that you weren't able to bring home a podium today, but congrats on the 4th place, and we look forward to seeing you at the next round.
Yeah, Snetterton should suit me better. Thanks.
Congratulations there to Alex Hofladason, and we apologize. Remember, the standards are different from around the world in Europe. If you're offended by that language, it was well intended. It was nothing. No, not. It was done in good, with a smile on his face. Who we have one more interview to talk to, and I'm going to get to talk to Tom Van Hoyman. Tom, you're on the podium, and it wasn't because you short-filled. You just had the pace. What happened?
Yeah, I underfueled the car. I thought I had enough fuel in the car, but it wasn't. And for the second time, when I made my pit stop the last time, I accidentally took tires as well, so that wasn't good as well. That set me more back to the back. And for the after that, when I was coming on the straight, I was stuttering again. So I again underfueled the car for the second time in this race. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame, to be honest. But the race itself, it was quite good. I got really good pace. I was consistent. Got good confidence in the car. So I was happy about that. I can be happy. But yeah, P8 I got. Yeah, P8. Yeah, it's still good. But yeah, if you're on the podium and you screw it like this, then you're not happy.
Yeah, I agree. You got to be frustrated that they gave away, but you got to be feeling good about the speed that you had in the car racing up front. Good luck on the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll get ourselves a podium, maybe snatch a win before the season's over.
Yeah, let's hope. Thank you, guys.
Tom Van Hoyman threw away a podium today. Look for him to get one before the season is done. Hey, how about thanking everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now or in a minute that we use to bring cyberspace into your place. The original music that gives every GSRC production that unique flavor and feel, that's thanks to Eric Engelman and Eula Lon. See the screen to have to contact each of them. Formula Neagle returns in 2 weeks. That's going to be March 3rd because February is a short month. Round 3 from Centerton. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check them out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_gram. Finally, while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, become a GSRC YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button on our YouTube channel. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sam, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as the Swede with speed returns Alex Johnson to defend his championship by picking up the round 2 win here at Monza. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm of the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.